Each number.
All right, so speech writing in Model UN. Speech writing is for your opening speech. You make your first impression, you show research, you have good ideas, and show you're a good country to work with. And this is important because for students and participants, this is the fake it till you make it. If you say president voting well, which is what we're going to do soon with roll call, and you give a good opening speech, it's likely you're going to go a full hour before anyone hears you again. And I tell students all the time, it's not about you being the best speech. It's just not you being quiet or insecure or not focused and people noticing that. I had a workshop I did recently where someone planned a video into their slideshow and the video didn't load. And that 15 seconds before I said, listen, this is your time, and they moved on, that's what people remember from the speech. So for this reason, just have it be good enough. And I also tell students, like, make it in simple English. This is not a place to use large, gargantuan words. This is a place to be understood by as many people as possible. And I can say for myself, I learned to speak more slowly because of Model UN. I found as a native English speaker, there was a certain speed that I spoke, but when I did, some people who were not native speakers did not understand what I was saying, and I was losing votes. So as much as what I was doing was stylistically of value, I found that I was not hitting what I was trying to, and it was unfortunate. So I learned to slow down significantly sometimes, and it made it. No one ever says you're speaking too slowly, but some people will say you're speaking too quickly. So the formula for Model UN speeches is clash information action, CIA. This is the formula to use. This is the best formula. I have seen a few, and my students do this, and they do very well. Now, this is policy oriented. By the way, this is geared towards an action if you're trying to persuade of an idea with no action involved. Ohad can probably tell you a lot about that from debate. But here in Model UN, we're trying to have an action that's always something, even if it's the Human Rights Council. We're legally categorizing something, it's still legally recognizing to call a situation something. Okay, so this is policy oriented thinking, which is good for Model UN and can be good in other classes, but it's very action oriented. So some of these things, if you want to have a philosophical discussion or something's a good or bad idea, you'd need to reapply or reappropriate some of these tools. So clash is what you want to do. Information is why you want to clash, and you must use a number. And action is how you're going to do the what in at least 3 steps. And you want to keep it simple for students. And this is so like finding a clash can sometimes be very complex, but to make it easier, I say clash is 1 line, information is 2 lines, action is 3 plus lines. Okay, just one. If a clash, it's more than 1 line, it's not a clash. If there's an and in the section sentence, it's 2 ideas. It's not one. And very much less is more. And sometimes you have, and many times you have to teach students to let go. It's usually 100 words. I tell them it's 100 words for 60 seconds. If someone's a particularly slow speaker, it could be 80 or 70. And the most you're going to get is 120 if someone is very fluent. But beyond that, you're speaking faster than people should. I could say for myself, there was an exercise I took part in, a public speaking class for my master's, and the idea was to illustrate some point of public speech, and I counted on it that people would not be able to erase their words, that they would go beyond, and I predicted whoever spoke before me would probably speak too fast, and I'm going to speak very slowly and talk about pauses. It was like the pause. What a powerful tool. And I really exaggerated the pausing, and it really worked in contrast speaker before me because I knew that most people will not be able to cut their words down because they're not competitive public speakers. So when you're teaching students, tell them 100 words. It's going to be harder to cut your 200 word speech down to 100 than it will be to write 100 words, especially if you have enthusiastic students about it. But your clash is 1 line. And this 1 line is your policy. And this policy is the heart of everything that they're going to do. Like for me, I always ask students, what is your clash? What is your clash? What is your clash? And their answer or lack of answer tells me everything. And by the end of this course, hopefully you will do this too. So Beginning of the speech. Dear delegates, because we're all UN delegates, country believes we should clash. What is this clash? Whatever they choose. All right, I'm going to ask Michaela, can you please read the following speech? This is the beginning of a speech. This is just clash and information.
Sure. Dear delegates, Norway believes the World Food Programme should give 240,000 tons of food to North Korea without conditions within 3 months. In November 2024, North Korea closed 6 foreign embassies. This resource-saving action was done before, in 1994, during the Great Famine that killed 2.5 million people.
All right, so we can see here, first of all, this is a ton of information. How many words do you think this is? Michaela, how many words?
96.
96 words. Anyone else want to take a guess?
97,
97.
but you had this in the video.
70.
70. So the
Under
answer
100.
is 39 words. We
What?
didn't even get to the, yeah, right?
Yeah.
39 words. It shows how much information we can give in a organized, focused way. By the way, later we're going to see speeches of 100 words and see a good CIA speech gives an entire worldview that the participants can choose to adopt and follow. Okay, so this shows we're teaching people to communicate like this. And by the way, the clash, give the food, 40,000 tons, North Korea within 3 months without conditions. That's one sentence. There's no and. We know exactly what they want to do. And
But
then
the
in the
order was, I'm
information,
sorry, the order isn't according to the CIA, right? It's the C, then
it,
the
it,
A,
it,
then the I.
there is no A here. This is just CI.
Action, the
There's no
giving them the food, no? Should give the
the,
food, no? Isn't that the action?
that's the clash.
Oh, that's part of the
I'll talk more
clash.
about this. I'm just saying this is an example of C plus I. It's just and it's about 40
Only
words,
C
which
plus
makes
I.
sense.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just showing that how within a few words we can get that. Okay, so clash. What you want to do. A clash is a practical policy that someone disagrees with. And Ohad is also familiar from the term that, if there's no disagreement, there's no discussion. And save your students the trouble by saying, if no other country disagrees, no one is going to talk about it. So it's a practical policy that someone disagrees with. What you want to do is solve the problem in one line that at least one other country disagrees with. And I've seen many times where, let's say right now, there's a food crisis. Let's build an education program in schools to teach about hunger. Great. No one's going to say no, but no one is going to talk about it. But if I say right now, we should cut food aid to the top third of starved countries because we get a bigger difference in the next two-thirds. That's controversial. That's interesting. That's where the discussion goes. And I've seen speeches and even given speeches where you watch the whole room change based on the way that you frame the discussion. If I say right now, you should all get a dog, all right? Maybe you'll get a dog. But if I say you should get a dog because it's going to make your kids comfortable speaking in English because they can whisper to a dog without feeling judged. And I can bring you an example of a dog who taught a kid to speak fluent English because the kid wasn't shy. Suddenly you're thinking again about getting a dog. You'll still probably say no, but it's a new angle, a new way to look at things. And when you come with a clash, someone disagrees with, there's someone else in the room who will be interested in taking your idea down. Today, actually, I ran a simulation for a school. And only two kids brought policies. But because their policies were somewhat clear, the other kids were able to, attack them and argue. But that just brought them forward. You want people to fight with you because that keeps your idea alive, that you're both on the separate side. Because if right now we're talking about giving food unconditionally to North Korea, and I say there should be conditions or not, we're not talking about giving food to Somalia or to Sudan or to Armenia or to Turkey or to Belgium. So when you talk about something, you're not talking about something else. Okay? So clash, a policy that someone disagrees with. If you want to see the breakdown, as you guys saw in the presentation, it needs to be one clear interpretation with measurable real world outcome. So if I say right now, give food to the children, you can't measure it. But if I say that I'm going to Jeremy's school and I'm going to feed the 10th grade class of 60 students pizza, you can. Okay, someone has to disagree. This is the most important part. This is the measure of if the idea is something alive that will be discussed. And I've had students come with lots of ideas, and I say, but who disagrees? Bring me the name of a country who disagrees and tell me why. And if they don't, you send them back. I've sent them back 4 or 5 times sometimes because our gut will have us do what sounds nice, eliminate racism, feed the children, clean the water. Great. But who will disagree? If no one will disagree, people will talk about the idea where there is disagreement. Also can get a majority. This is important. I've seen in a simulation of the US Senate from a number of years ago, it had a Republican majority, and one of the students came and had a very pro-life policy, which could not have got a majority by the structure of the committee. And I said, it's nice that you're representing this view, but find a different area to talk about where you can get a majority, because it's going to be impossible. So you want the idea to potentially get 50% plus one, and also has a period at the end. No and, one period at the end of the sentence to make it clear. So this is the clash points. Okay, so the clash, a good clash will say what will happen, who it's going to happen to, where and when. For example, okay, but these are words that are not specific and should not be used, like ultimatum, incentive, reward, support. What type of support? What type of reward? Improve the process. What does that mean? These all eventually can be defined. An example of a clash: Peru would have Facebook immediately take down all deep fake videos which feature political candidates during elections. Okay? So, I'm going to ask Rula. Hello, Rula. Nice to see you. Rula, can you please tell us what is the action being taken over here?
Taking down all the deepfake videos itself. This is the action that is taken just right now.
Great. Who is going to do it?
The government, I guess.
No. Who is going to be
Facebook,
taking down the
Facebook.
videos?
Political
Who's gonna take down the
candidate.
videos? No, it's not political candidate.
Facebook.
Very good. Okay.
Facebook, yes.
Excellent. Okay, so we see what take down the videos. Who? Facebook. Where and when? Immediately and on Facebook. Okay, so now even if we didn't get it in our first second to read, our brain gets it. We're like, oh, this is clear. This is explained. So when someone brings you a clash, they need to make sure to say what will happen, who it's going to happen to, where and when. Get the food now. Get the food later. And so on. Here are some examples of clashes. Give 240,000 tons of food to North Korea immediately without conditions. Find the largest fishing companies that contribute to ocean microplastics. Distribute 100,000 doses of morphine to fentanyl addicts. Okay? Some of these don't have the time in it necessarily, but you understand what's going to happen. And the call to action maybe you could give a timeline. But you know what's going to happen. You know who, you know what. And all of that is clear. Now, sometimes, and this is already more for educator perspective, we don't know what our clash is supposed to be. So there are 3 guiding questions that we use. Number 1 is to find a solution, because we start our speech with our solution, we need to have an issue which we're solving. So for this, we need an issue. What issue do we look for? It needs to be specific. So within the topic we're looking at, like global starvation, the problem needs to be specific, solvable, and time-bound. And we'll focus more on this later. I just want to let you know, if we're not sure what our clash is, we need to find something to solve, and then we can solve it. And this is where I think a lot of people can get lost. But today we know that there's starvation in North Korea, and that's the thing that we're supposed to solve for our simulation. And that's why I think everyone already has a clash who is ready. Now, the issue, by the way, is only for research. You start with your clash. You don't start with your problem. Many students are used to spending an entire speech describing the problem. Everyone knows the problem. We know the problem. We know that there is a food shortage. We know a missile was tested. We want to go for the solution. Get to the topic. Get to the... All right. I hope that was resolved. All good. Okay. So back to clash. We want to solve a problem. Okay, and this is basically the idea. Like I said, clash is one sentence that someone disagrees with that is going to be a policy. Okay, so that's clash. We good on clash? Thumbs up. Excellent. Okay, by the way, a game that I like to play, and I just want to give this as an option, is called Clash in a Bag. Students will write two statements, like one should be a policy, which people will disagree with, and one does not. So, for example, drinking water is good, or we should all drink water. That's no one's going to disagree with. But if you say right now, the state should charge people for clean drinking water, that is something which is debatable. So it's an idea of a game that you can play involving clash. If a kid has a hat, I have them take their hat and pass it around. People pull out each other's notes, they read, and everyone says clash and off clash. Sometimes people bring a fact, which is neither. But the idea is something people will debate or not debate. So that's clash. Good. And the clash is the most important thing. You can't have a call to action without a clash. Without
Do
a clash,
you,
there is
excuse me,
no
Daniel,
speech.
do you give
Yes.
them the sentences or do they come up with the sentences?
For this game, I have them come up with it. I teach them the idea of clash. I say it's a policy that someone disagrees with. Now,
Mm-hmm.
please write a sentence that someone will disagree with and write something that no one's going to disagree with. You have
Okay.
to write one and the other and show the difference. Sometimes both will be clashes. Sometimes neither will be clashes. All right, so that's clash. Information. Information is a hard fact plus a number, and this is Y plus facts. All right, and it's important because numbers show research. Numbers make us feel that we have
Impressive.
something real to support. Exactly, exactly. Shows the reason of the real world and not just an opinion. And numbers make things real. Now, theoretically, you can also bring other types of data, but it doesn't register the same way. So for all my students, say your fact must be a number, okay? And not just number. It needs to be a specific unround number, okay? For those who saw the slideshow, by the way, there's also a little joke. Actually, let's have two people read. Anna, read the sarcasm character, and Ohad, please read the other character. All right? Unmute and let's go.
Sarcasm doesn't get you anywhere.
Well, it got me to the Sarcasm World Championships in Uruguay in 2018.
Really?
No.
All right, cute. Let's see some smiles. Okay. Now, the reason that I use this joke is because sarcasm doesn't get you anywhere. Well, it got me a sarcasm world championship. Really? No. Not the same thing as in Uruguay in 2018. Give it a place, give it a number. It sounds more plausible. It sounds more real. When you use numbers, it makes research and something which you can use in any part of life. If you bring a number, you probably looked for it. But, and this brings us to the next part, is that specific unround numbers are more believable than round numbers, and no one understands percentages. Okay, so quickly to go through unround numbers. Look at how your eyes catch 10,000 police versus 10,622 police. Which one does our eyes stop at? Which do we not skip over? Okay, round numbers, bad. And sometimes I tell students if you find a round number, unround it, add 16 at the end or something. It sticks differently in the mind. Okay? Problem with percentages is we really don't know, okay? Or we don't know how to evaluate percentages. If 20% more students came this week, what does that mean? How many are in the class? Okay? And I'm saying for what we feel inside, we're going to get to know with practice to identify. By the way, that's why the political candidate deepfake on Facebook thing rang the way it did, because we got it all. We don't understand percentages. So if 20 more students came, if there are 30 students, that means 6 students. Why not just say 6 more students came to class? 6 more students came in out of a class of 6 or out of a class of 20. Why the percentages? People think percentages are impressive, but they're not. We don't know what to do with them. Okay? Another example, 30% of the buses in Tel Aviv went on strike. What does that mean? How do we use that in a speech? Hey, everybody, 30% of the buses are on strike. Okay? Reality is, it doesn't ring for us in the same way. So, the way to do it is, first of all, to take the numbers and work backward. Okay? Total buses, if we research, there's 1,207. 30% is 362. Now, that is a better number, but it still doesn't show magnitude. So if we're going to guesstimate, and Model UN has a lot of, guesstimated math, by the way, just like consulting case questions, 50 people ride the bus a day, which is probably low. That's 18,100 not able to ride. So let's get rid of the percentage and bring the number, or if you must, you can use a percentage, but connect it to a real number and see the difference. So instead of 30% of the buses went on strike, we see 30% of buses, which is 362 buses, which is 362 drivers not driving, which is 18,100 people not going for a ride each day, right? And you feel the impact because we understand numbers. We know if our class is shoved to the brim, 40 people in a class, so 2.5 of those is each bus, which means the entire school a few times over not riding each day thanks to the strike. Real numbers bring impact, they show magnitude, percentages do not. Now, a drill in a game you can play with information is show me the numbers, give a global situation, and have students repeat or situations. And you say, okay, there was an earthquake in, Delhi. Add some numbers, which break into subcategories. Let's say 2,000 people were injured, 3,112 lost their homes, and see the difference the impact makes. And you can bring whatever type of scenarios, can be positive, it can be negative, but it just has adding numbers and then going in a circle and seeing the difference. So, and they can also write things for each other and fill the numbers for each other's scenario. But it shows that type of a drill, and it's something sometimes I also will like do in professional development. But it's a good game for them to learn to use specific numbers. Are there any questions on information? We're good. Give me a thumbs up. We're good. All right, we're packing it all up here. Okay, action. How to solve the problem. The call to action is a practical solution you're discussing in numbered steps. Okay? So what does this mean? Okay, and we're going to build it together right now. Okay, if we want to order a pizza, how do we do that in 3 or more steps? Okay, call to action, pizza. Okay, someone give me some steps.
Decide on the order.
Okay, let's get specific. Okay, so first thing we need to do, to decide, how do we decide on the order?
Vote for the flavors.
Okay, so let's do that.
People.
Let's do
Decide
that
on the
right
pizza.
now. Okay, so right
Where
now
are
we have to
ordering
decide
from?
where are we ordering from. Okay, let's decide right now. Where are we ordering? What do we like?
Pizza Hut.
Pizza Hut. Okay, everyone here likes Pizza Hut?
Yeah.
Does someone object to Pizza Hut? Okay.
Domino's.
Right. How many of us do we have here? 15 people, 20 people. Okay, how many pies do we need for 20 of us?
About 2 for each.
2 slices per each.
3
Okay.
slices
Yeah,
each.
2 slices.
3 slices. Okay, 3 slices per each. Okay, so let's do some math. Let's see who can get to the math first. I'll try. Okay, so let's see. Each
We're
pie has 8
18, that's
slices.
6 pizzas.
6 pizzas. Okay, so 6 slices. So what do we want on the
Sorry,
pizza?
I did a third and not 3. My bad.
Okay, while you get the math. Tell me, what do we want on our pizzas? Anybody allergic to cheese? All right, nobody. Okay,
That's
cool.
6 pizzas.
Okay, so fine. So let's we can also see each other. We don't even have to see the numbers. So hello. Okay, so number 1, 6 pizzas. What do we want on the pizzas?
Bacon.
No,
Okay.
no bacon.
No bacon.
Okay.
No bacon for me.
Okay. All right. What do we want? What types of pizzas?
Corn
Sausage.
and pineapple.
Okay, pineapple. We good with pineapple?
You are going too controversial. No
If you
bacon.
get stuffed crust.
No pineapple. Okay, let's see. Can we agree on? I see mushrooms. You want to write your
A
topic?
lot
Okay,
of cheese.
A lot
Lots
of cheese. Anyone have a
No.
problem with a lot of cheese?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, not a lot of cheese. Fine.
Yeah.
What do we get? Help us here.
But
Okay, we have
triple
6
pizzas. We can
pizzas. So
split it
one can
up.
have a lot of cheese, one can have bacon, and one can have
Yeah.
whatever the others want.
Fine. Okay,
Graham.
6 pizzas. 1 with extra cheese. 1 pineapple. Okay, one. We'll do fake bacon. All right. Okay, what else? We're good in 3 plain. Yeah?
Yeah.
Mohammed, what do you want on your pizza?
Nobody wants pepperoni?
Apparently not.
Olive, maybe.
Olives, by the way,
Yeah,
saying about me, I hate olives on pizza. It's the thing I don't like the most. But there's 6 pizzas. We can go with it. It's
Yes.
like yeah, it's like something that like it's like I wish I liked it because all the pizza has olives. I don't get it, but something about the canned olive going
pineapple.
into the what do you like?
Pineapple.
Pineapple. All right, we got a pineapple. Okay. So we'll even agree with one olive pizza.
Broccoli.
Broccoli. Okay. Okay, wonderful. So we have and 1 plain, or do we want to leave 0 plain?
No plain. Put tuna on it.
1 tuna. Okay. Hopefully everyone has something to eat. Great. So now we've discussed it. Going back to our slideshow. Okay. So we have 6 pizzas. Okay. Order 6 pizzas from Pizza Hut. All right. We'd probably have to say which Pizza Hut, but fine. From Pizza Hut chain. Closest Pizza Hut. From closest Pizza Hut. 1 extra cheese, 1 pineapple, 1 fake bacon, 1 olive pizza, 1 broccoli, 1 tuna. Okay, what's the next step?
Okay. Call.
Good.
Phone
Call
number.
them.
Good. So first, okay. So call Pizza Hut. Who's gonna call Pizza Hut?
You.
Me.
I think
All
we
right.
need to look for sales online.
You started it. You call them.
I this order is no longer of my making.
No,
Okay,
we need
but
to look for sales. We need to look for
Okay.
coupons.
Good. So look for sales
They're gonna be
online.
closed by the time we look for
And
sales.
we don't need to call them. We just do it online.
Ain't nobody
Okay,
got
fine.
time for all
Which
that. We're
website?
hungry.
Which
Let's go.
website? Hold it. This is very important. Tell me which.
Pizzahut.co.il. I'm sure.
Yeah. Okay, great.
I mean, I would
Okay,
Google
so-
Pizza Hut in Hebrew.
Okay. Look for sales online by
Google Pizza Hut.
Googling Pizza Hut. All right, who wants to call? Who wants to do it through online order?
If Fuad's looking for sales, then he can order.
Yeah, I'll order, but then I don't want to pay.
Okay, so fine. Okay. Ohad orders 6 pizzas online. Now who's paying? Using whose credit card?
Pass that and we'll use a collective.
The one who talks too much, Marvin.
Okay, using Marvin's credit card. All right, great. Marvin's making a face, but great. Okay, now what? What do we need to do next?
Wait.
No, we
Switch
didn't
Marvin's
say.
credit card number for Annie's credit card number.
Okay, fine.
Nope.
Okay, fine. So if anything,
Didn't work
fine.
for
Okay,
that.
so first of all, if anything, then ask for Marvin's credit card, and then Ohad order 6 pizzas online using Marvin's card. But what's missing? What else? Are we all gonna get the pizzas right now?
Marvin's
No,
okay.
we have
'Cause
to
if
wait.
I'm using my credit card, then
Wait,
I'm
wait,
taking
wait,
the
wait.
pizzas.
When are we waiting for? Till when?
Till pizza arrive.
40 minutes, 35. I'm not sure.
Well,
According
first of
to
all, looking
according
at
to
these
the
instructions, what did we not decide?
Where
What's
is it being
missing?
delivered?
What to
Where is
drink?
it being delivered? And also what else? Where
time
and
limit.
time limit? When? Exactly. We have no idea. So let's get that in there. When do we want to tell the pizza to go where?
To Marvin's address as soon as possible.
Okay. So all right. So let's say okay. Order pizzas to Marvin's as soon as possible. Now is as soon as possible a time?
It's vague. It's
No,
vague.
No,
No,
30 minutes
it's
or
supposed,
not
less.
it's
Y'all
that.
supposed to
finna be
be like
hungry.
45 minutes or
So
something.
by the way, as soon as possible, I think is fine as a time because tell the restaurant, hey, what's soon as you can get it here? That's gonna work. Okay. So in this case, it's fine. I'd say also get the food in North Korea as soon as possible. Like you can also say, May 8th at 7 p.m. You could, and by the way, I really want to eat pizza
It's
now.
not gonna
This
go
discussion
faster. It
has,
has to be made.
right,
Like
right.
there's some
Okay.
process
Okay.
involved.
All right. So order a pizza to
Yeah, but the
Marvin's.
driver can drive fast.
The driver can drive fast. Okay. So now what's the final step?
To eat.
Come to
Okay.
Marvin
accept.
to eat
Okay.
pizza.
Okay.
Wrong.
Everyone
Maybe we
Wrong. That's
divide
come
it.
all wrong.
to
That is
Marvin
all wrong. The final
to
step
eat
is to
pizza.
pay Marvin for entry into his house in order to get the pizza. That's the
Okay, so
final
fine.
step.
So pay back. Okay, everyone comes up with, so hold it, right? Okay. Pay back Marvin and okay.
I think we should vote for number 7.
Have pizza party. All right, I like that. Vote for number 7.
Ain't
So
nobody asked you though.
You're
there
the
is a
one with
model.
the credit card.
So there is a Model UN rule called voting clause by clause, or dividing the question. We can vote. So we can vote to remove clause 7, and if it passes with majority, that's what happens. So I see. So Marvin, I see likes the idea. Okay,
Well,
so
if that's
we
the
see
case, I'd
here.
like to remove a clause that
Okay,
Marvin
which
pays. Marvin
oh,
pays. Let's
all
vote
right.
Marvin,
for
you're
that
gonna be
first.
outvoted.
Okay, so good here. So first of all, excellent thinking. By the way, glad that great that this went this fast. And you can do something like this. The pizza order, I do this with groups of students sometimes. That you basically make an order of a pizza. You do something like this. Usually, I'd make it more simple. Let's say, let's simplify it here. So 1, 2 is call the pizza shop. 3, use teacher's credit card or someone from the student. Okay. Order 6 pizzas to arrive at, 4 o'clock or as soon as possible. And then someone collects pizza, okay, or like delivery person, person brings pizza to class, and then we have a pizza party. Okay, so this is the idea, and this teaches the use of call to action. It's a multi-step process that you understand that order pizzas, if our clash right now, let's go back to the beginning, okay? So clash, we should order 6 pizzas to class. I'll make it simple. Okay, plain pizzas to class. What can be some information to help justify this?
The number of students. This is
Good.
why you
Our
decided
class
6.
has 18 students, but we need to make what else? So by the
Or
way,
It's
that's
not been
Plain
starving.
eating for
pizza,
7
white
hours.
plain.
starving as we've been studying since what time?
9 a.m.
8 a.m.
Okay,
18:30.
9 a.m. and didn't eat anything. Okay, so first of all, we see here that we have time. I'd probably say make this, 9:05 to make it a not round number. And by the way, see as you read how your eye catches the non-round numbers, the 18, the 9:05. This is different from writing 9, for example. Okay, you want to be more specific, it could be 9:14, but it doesn't make sense that a class would start at 9:14. Okay, so it's something good to be aware of, and we didn't eat anything. Okay, so 18 students, 9:05 a.m. is our time. Our class, order 6 plain pizzas to class. Now see how this answers. What? Tell me, what are we doing?
Order pizza.
Ordering pizza
Okay, where is it going?
Class.
to class.
Okay.
We didn't say. No. There's. Sorry.
Now, by the way, we can say here, okay, 4 o'clock delivery. Okay, there we go. What, where, when. Now, we need our call to action. Okay, now the action, if we had to make it in 3 steps, would be step 1. Okay, we could take from the next slide. Okay, so Order 6
Decide,
pies.
order, deliver.
Exactly. So 1, okay, order 6 pies from Pizza Hut. 2, okay, pay with Marvin's card. Okay, what's that here? 6 pies to arrive at 4. Marvin's card. 3, eat the, it's like, where's my 3? 3, eat the pizzas at 4. Okay, so we see here that the important part with the call to action is that the call to action we have involves the process. We have to order from Pizza Hut. Now we could put Pizza Hut over here, but we're still missing steps. So ordering 6, not plain pizzas to class at 4 o'clock is our clash. We understand what to do now, but we don't know how we're getting there. Now, while our solution here in this example may seem obvious, it is not, because I could say, for example, call to action 1, I deputize Jeremy to bake all the pizzas. So step 1, tell Jeremy to bake the pizzas. 2, Jeremy breaks into a local Domino's after hours and bakes the pizzas. 3, Jeremy uses, steals one of those skydiving airplanes and skydives down to Marvin's house. And 4, sets them up on the roof with plastic tables that he got at Ace. And why not? Because the clash is open to a lot of interpretation. 6 pane pizzas to class, even if it, by the way, even if it is from Pizza Hut, have ways for it to go wrong. And I can say that in many times I've seen a clash without a call to action. And I would say, dear delegates, I agree exactly with what they say because they're supporting my idea and pull it a different direction. And Ohad knows from debate, we love to get up and say, we agree exactly with what the previous speaker on the other side says, and then drag it our way because they didn't back it up well enough. So this is the same kind of thing. So at best, your students need to nail in an obvious policy. At worst, they need to protect a very open to interpretation clash. If we say that, X, Twitter, or Instagram are responsible to take down all the posts showing, racial comment, I could say if I don't want to mess with these things, saying that my call to action is we're going to set up a review committee for 2 years of review, after which we're going to have a summit in the Philippines to see if we should take further action. Basically doing nothing. And that's fine. That also works. So you can see how sometimes an action can lead to an action. So this is the type of thinking of call to action that we want to bring a plan. And this pizza order, by the way, is one such game to do, where you have them build out the steps. Depending on the level of participation of the class, sometimes what I do is I have a student get up and act. Like I have someone in the front of the class, it's like, all right, what do you do? Student wakes up in the morning, walks to the door, goes down the state. Wait, they didn't open the door. So if they ever get stuck at a step which isn't clear, they have to shrug and then restart. And you watch, sometimes it's a 15-step plan, but they learn how to think of every step and answer because there's a lot of assumptions. And this is important to break the way that we think. We, from a unified society where we have ordered pizza online and on the phone, we know how to order a pizza. But we also know that we can instruct someone to break into a pizzeria and skydive the order down or try to drop it from the plane on our house. And no one is to say that that isn't the case. My call to action should be, okay, we should all eat pizza at 4. Everyone, now bring some flour and water in front of the computer and we're going to make our pizzas right now. And suddenly you realize that without the call to action, the clash is very open to interpretation. And even a good clash, while it's relatively clear, there's a lot of assumptions and sort of joint language that lets it happen. Okay, so that's clash information and call to action. Okay, now let's look at an example speech. I would like a volunteer to read. Who would like to read?
Anna.
Not all at once. Who? Anna? Okay, great.
Set up.
First of all,
Bye.
I very much respect people's difference of opinion. But okay, Anna, you've been volunteered. The man with the credit card says so. All right. Anna, please read the following speech. Go.
He didn't give me his number or credit card, so it doesn't count. Okay, never mind. Dear delegates, Brazil feel we should give a fine to the largest fishing companies that contribute to ocean microplastics. Guanabara Bay, hope I read it correctly, in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, the second most polluted beach in the world, receives 91 tons of garbage a day or 1.2 city buses a day. Our plan is for each country to submit the list of the top polluters to the UN. Each company should then be fined 250,000 for each time they return any less than 90% of the microplastics they left with. Companies who fail over 10 times will have their ships suspended.
All right. Beautiful. Okay, so how many words do we think that is?
97.
Under 100.
Under 100,
50.
you're right. How many?
50.
50. Okay. So, CIA in 94 words. 94 words. And that's a ton of information. Okay, so let's break it down. Okay, so first of all, we must find, this is the clash, find the largest fishing companies that contribute to ocean microplastics. So that's number one. Number two, information. Guanabara Bay, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, because if we don't know where it is, we know if we don't know Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, most of us have heard, receives 90 tons of garbage a day. 6.2 city buses there to illustrate the size, because we don't really know what 90 tons is. Probably should have been made into 92 tons, but whatever. And then the plan. Each country submits a list of top polluters. The company will be fined if they come back with less than 90% of microplastics, and with over 10 times, the ship will be suspended. Maybe we should make it 5. Okay, so we see over here the steps. Now, we can't really fine anyone unless they're known polluters. That would seem not, to be preemptively skipping, the step to justice. We also won't suspend someone who hasn't been fined. So steps 1 leads to 2, leads to 3. And you can see these 94 words. There is a ton of information. And this is the objective. And I'm not saying that we're all going to get this right the first time or the students are going to get this right immediately, but it's important to see that within this action-packed speech of under 100 words, we can get a lot through because we know what to get rid of and what to say no to, and to be able to understand that each, and this is key, and this is one of the big problems, at least currently, with AI chat engines, is that they don't give steps 1, 2, 3 of the same plan. They give 3 steps, each one of them that's a separate class. For example, if we say feed the class, we should order a pizza, educate the class on food, and turn on the air conditioner. That's the kind of idea. And if you find students whose, words they use are something they've never communicated ever, then it's also likely using a chat engine. My main issue, at least, to date, is that they're not very creative and they don't really give a good CIA speech. And I have tried. So, so we see here, by the way, the what and who is clear in the beginning. The justification of huge amounts of garbage, comes, and then we see a plan. Okay, so that's call to action, and you see how they work together. Now, the drill, as I said, is let's get a pizza. And you can, give different steps, go in the Domino app. You can do it, make it longer. You can make it shorter. Okay, so to review, clash, 1 line, information, 2 lines, call to action, 3+ lines. We see how it comes together to deliver a good policy speech that tells the people what you want them to do and conveys all the information. All right, are there any questions on this? All right, excellent. So seeing no questions, I'll say thank you for being a wonderful and supportive
I have a
audience.
question regarding
Yeah.
putting numbers in the information.
Yes.
Is it ethical or is it, does it matter whether the information or the numbers are correct or incorrect, or I don't know.
For Model UN wise, I would say it's always good to use correct numbers. We always want to tell the truth. and you can find enough numbers to support completely opposite sides of the case. I don't think there's a need to make things up. I'll also say for students, it's very, I'd say it's potentially dangerous to do so because people are going to be cross-checking checking them, and if someone calls them out, that's not a good position to be at. But I can say that you can find information to support a situation as being peaceful or not, using data. Things can be more or less dangerous, using relative numbers. And I've seen cases, or just bring information about something different. If we say, for example, we're talking about the North Korea food example, brings data about starving people, which is correct, and you'll say we should give the food. Bring data about the government's missile test, and you're saying we should not bring the food. So just in different areas. So I don't think there's any reason to fabricate numbers, and it's generally to be discouraged.
So it has to be correct numbers.
Yeah, it has to. Yeah, you're also teaching people how to research. So, like with research, you want people to learn to research correct facts. All right. Are there any other questions? All right. So I want to thank everyone for being.
Daniel,
Yeah.
what
This
is
is
the name
questions
of the
about this.
presentation? Rules of procedures or something?
No, it's the British one.
The first one?
The second one.
Ah,
Lesson 2, Unit 2.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Okay, so I want to thank everyone for being a wonderful group and for joining for the CIA class.